Huh?
Okay. Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The last discussion we had was a very, very interesting discussion. I told you there, Sahibi Hidayah introduced us to something new and introduced us to the proof of Ta'amulun Nas, that something which the Muslims have accepted throughout the ages. What they've considered to be good, that's considered to be good. And actually, this is the basis of the statement of Hazrat Ibn Mas'ud, Mar al-Muslimuna Hasan, fawa inda Allah Hasan. Then, and he uses to show that, look, the droppings of a small edible bird is not najis, because despite the hukam and the order of keeping the masajid clean, people did not remove the birds. If the droppings of the birds were najis, people would have made a concerted effort to remove those birds. The fact that they never removed the birds, they allowed and tolerated the birds in the masajid shows that they did not consider that najis. So that is what we say ta'amulun nas. I did mention to you also that there might be other dalail. Many a times Sahib Hidayah, he choose one dalil, he choose one appropriate dalil, and he gives it to you. If you want the other dalail, you have to look in the book, the hadith books, etc. And then he gave another dalil also, and that is, he said that like this, the droppings of small birds, edible birds, etc., it does not rot and give off a stench. You understand what I'm saying? Right? That's what we discussed. Then, oh yeah, so then we also discussed the other thing about the sheep urine. So according to Hazrat Imam Muhammad rahimahullah ta'ala, is a pure thing. And the normal laws of a pure thing mixing with water is applicable. Like remember, we done three laws. If the thing is odorless, like my musta'mal, only when it overpowers it is more than it, then it renders, it loses quality of being tahur, of purifying something else, remember? And then if it changes, if the additive has two qualities, if it changes one, it will be tahir but not tahur. I'm just going briefly. If you are following us from the beginning, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll know exactly, you're following the lessons and you understood the lessons, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And if the thing got two qualities, like vinegar, then it must change two qualities. Sorry, if it has three qualities, it must change two qualities in the water. It must change two qualities in the water, right? So this is all where a pure thing mixes with the water. And Imam Muhammad considers this pure, right? And then we gave you the reason why Imam Muhammad considered it pure. He said that because Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he allowed the people Oraniyin, right? That was his. Then our proof to say no, it's not pure, etc. Urine, all we started last hadith, istanzihu al bawli. Be careful about urine. فإن عامة عذاب القبر منه. Most of the azab of the qabr is from it. من غير فصل. Nabi Sallallahu did not differentiate between the urine of an edible animal, between the urine of a human being, between the urine of an animal, nothing. He said all urine. Al-mutlaqu, there's a principle you done it also in usul al-fiqh, the usul al-shashi lesson. You know, al-mutlaqu yajri ala itlaqihi. When an injunction is general, you just leave it general. So this is general, right? So its application will be general, right? And then we done the hadith also about the people who are being punished in the grave. So Nabi mentioned that the reason for the punishment is because they were negligent. So from this also we see that you should be cognizant. You know, people many times in the Western culture, you just stand, you have urinals, you just stand, urinate without istinja, just shake, 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 put it back in, drops all over the clothes, right? And then especially for men, sometimes they have a problem. They call it in English. What they call it? What's the right? I told you the word yesterday. It's called it incontinence. What you call it? It's right, ne? You pronounce incontinence, ne? Incontinence, where you have continuous drops coming out. So if a person got that sickness of incontinence, then you must put a tissue there, like how the ladies also they have discharge all the time, so they also must be careful. They must put their pad or they put a panty liner or whatever, so that the clothes don't get soiled. A man, if you got a problem, you know for a fact that you go when you go to urinate. Like me personally, I do have that problem also. When I go to toilet, I know for a few minutes after that this urine will still come out. So what you must do, you must plan your toilets well in advance before salah. Because if you got a problem of incontinence, you just go, you go to toilet, you come out, you make wudu, and the drop come out. That means your wudu is broken, your wudu is nullified, and you read namaz. So you must plan your toilets. You go 15 minutes before the time toilet, and then you put a piece of tissue there to catch the urine so your clothes don't get soiled. Although all those masail will apply, but you know, if it's lesser than a dirham, then it's maaf, and if it's more. But I mean, still, you have to be cognizant. You must know, you can't just go toilet and then you just shake your thing, you put it in, and then you just go make wudu, and then you read salah. You're not even worried if any drop come out. You're not even worried how much is being soiled. That's what we're speaking about. That's what we're speaking about. That in the amat azab al qabri minha. Most of the azab is when you like that. That's what I'm speaking about now. You totally negligent. You just go urinate. You don't even make istinja, and then you just shake it and you put it back in, and the drops are flying all over the show, and you don't even know whether you got a problem with the incontinence, and then you just go make wudu and all that type of thing. Right. So we say this hadith is general, and so it's general in its application. So it cautions us with regards to urine, right? Then ولأنه يستحيل إلى نتن وفساد فصار كبول ما لا يؤكل لحمه. We say, look, if you look at urine, even of such, remember Imam Muhammad said that the urine of an edible animal, fine. So we say no, even the urine of an edible animal, even if you look at it when it gets bad, it gives off a bad, terrible stench. So from here, you learn something interesting also. That in the term, once you have nas, you have clear text. That this is najis, that is najis, right? Also, one of the criterion of deciding what was najis is if when this thing goes bad, it has a terrible smell. There's a pungent smell. That is also a sign that is now najis. وَلِأَنَّهُ يَسْتَحِيلُ إِلَى نَتْنٍ وَفَسَادٍ. Right? So, it also has a terrible stench like the urine of other animals whose flesh is not eaten. فَصَارَ كَبَوْلِ مَا لَا يُؤْكَلْ لَحْمُهُ. So it becomes like the urine of that which is flesh is not eaten, the same, like so exactly the same. Like how the urine of a lion, tiger, wolf, ever, it goes bad, it gives a bad smell. Those also will give a bad smell, right? So we gave you our reasons why we say it is najis. We gave you our reasons why we say it is najis. In the next text, we're going to answer the hadith of the Uraniyin. Remember, Imam Muhammad used the hadith of Uraniyin to say that Nabi Sallallahu allowed them to drink the milk and to drink the urine. So we got two, three answers. One answer is this here. First answer, we say this is mansukh. Maybe in the initial stages of Islam, it wasn't najis, but here you got a clear nasikh, abrogator. Istanzihu min al-bawl, فإن عامة العذاب فإن عامة عذاب القبر منها. Right? So that hadith is. And as I told you, to be clued up with the knowledge of Nasikh, Mansukh, you have to have no history. When did the incident of Uraniyin take place? It took place in the early stage of Islam. When was the hadith of Istanzi and Baul mentioned? It was in the latter stage of Islam. So that means Istanzi and Baul, it is what? It is nas, it makes nas of that, right? It makes nas of that, right? So you have to know that. Then the second thing is the answer that we give that perhaps Allah Ta'ala informed Nabi Sallallahu that these people are treacherous people. They're going to steal the sadaqah animals, etc. So on that basis, they were permitted. Or maybe here we got nas that Allah Ta'ala informed Nabi Sallallahu that for these people, there's shifa in this. For these people, there's shifa in this, right? So that is our answer. Then to the latter part is another interesting thing which I want to discuss with you. So anyway, وَتَعْوِيلُ مَا رُوِيَ, the explanation of what has been narrated about the Uridiyin, right, is this Urifa Shifa'um Wahyan, that their Shifa, that they will be cured, was known through Wahi from to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, right? So we can't compare to us to say, we don't have Wahi to say that there is Shifa in the urine or whatever, right? ثم عند أبي حنيفة. Interesting. Now, I want to explain this. You have to listen nicely to understand this. This part is interesting here, right? I'm going to give you a lot of extra fawaid with it at the same time. So listen nicely. This is the default ruling of urine. Just listen. This is not at the time of necessity. I repeat. I want to explain this. This is interesting on myself, which I want to explain now to you, inshallah, which can benefit you in future a lot. So listen nicely. Thing. Here we're going to mention some ikhtilaf between Hanafi Aima. But this is the default ruling, normal ruling. See, ثم عند أبي حنيفة لا يحل شربه للدواء. Imam Abu Hanifa said it is not permissible to drink the urine of the animals who's edible, right, for litadawi, for medicinal purposes, right? So you sick, right? You sick, right? Somebody told you, no, drink this camel urine, drink this sheep urine. Imam Abu Hanifa said no. It's still his original opinion, which is it is najis. Are you with me? Right? Then he says لأنه لا يتيقن لأنه لا يتيقن you got يتيقن or يتيقن بالشفاء فيه, because we know for certain, look here, we know for certain that urine is najis. We've proven beyond doubt to you urine is najis, right? So لا يتيقن بالشفاء, there is no doubt, there is no certain shifa, right? فيه فلا يعرض الحرمة. So something, the shifa of urine, it is in Arabic you can say wahmi, it's mawhum, it's guesswork. So how can you use something which is guesswork to go against a clear prohibition that you have to abstain from urine? Right? Are you with me? Right. Then then وعند أبي يوسف يحل للتوداوي للقصة. What Imam Yusuf is, Imam Yusuf's got an interesting thing on the whole thing. Look at the whole thing together. What Imam Yusuf is saying, he's saying, look here, the general default ruling of urine is najis. You cannot consume it. But here we got an exception to the rule that when you are ill, then you can use the urine of animals that is eaten, right? So he's saying today, if you're sick also, you can use it. Are you with me? Right? I know they like when they were small, they say that there's a certain, like when you get a certain eye infection or something, so you must put a child's urine on the. You ever heard about that? Never heard about it. Anyway, so وإن محمد according to Muhammad يحل للتداوي وغيره للطهارة عنده. According to Muhammad, because obviously say whether you're sick or you're not sick, even if you're not sick, you can use this urine, right? Right? Because it's pure, right? So there you see there's three things mentioned there. One is this here. According to Imam Hanifa, when you're sick, you can't use it. According to Imam Yusuf, this is the exception to the rule. So the interesting thing, see, the same incident, the same hadith, same students of the same Imam, each one has understood it in a different manner. Each one has got a different interpretation of it. So you see the role that hadith has played in the different opinions of the Imam. That's why there's a beautiful book called أثر الحديث الشريف في الاختلاف بين ال بين ال I think بين الفقهاء. The role that the hadith has played in the different opinions between the fuqaha. By Sheikh Abdul Fattah Abu Ghudda is brilliant. A lot of things that you never understand that will put a lot of things in perspective. I remember when I studied this after I was doing extra as I said, why was this book not taught to us when we were in our alim course? It's so beneficial. And the nice thing about this book, it has been translated into English also. It is now being translated into not India English, into good South African English. So those who don't know Arabic want to benefit from it, they can benefit from it. So that is the one point I wanted to make to you to say that see how the same hadith, how the different ulama have interpreted in different ways, and all were sincere in their quest to unearth the truth, right? So that's the one thing I want to tell you. So this is the default ruling. This is the default. But there's another masla now also, which overrides all these masail, and this is called at-tadawi bil haram. When a person is chronically ill, listen nicely, when a person is chronically ill and there is no cure except something which is haram, whatever it could be from urine, it could be from swine, it could be. a person is corrupt, listen nicely. When a person, this masala is all in its place here. This is all in its place. This refers to the like a person is sick, whatever. But you got another masala which is a different circumstances. And this is similar to like when a person is dying of hunger. You know, فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ فِي مَخْمَصَةٍ غَيْرَ مُتَجَانِفٍ لِإِثْمٍ. You are dying of hunger. If you don't eat that pork, you're going to die. You are dying of hunger. If you don't have that alcohol, that wine, you're going to die. So there's another masala also which comes under the masala at-tadawi bil haram. Tadawi means to cure, to seek cure. If a person is chronically ill, first thing. Second thing, he's only got something which is categorically haram, right? Second thing. Third thing, there is no alternative. There's no halal alternative on the market. There's no halal. Fourth thing, this medicine is recommended by a reputable Muslim doctor. Two things. Why must be Muslim? Because even non-Muslim tell you he does not understand the seriousness of the prohibition, right? So he'll give you the advice with regard. He'll give you only the medical part of it, right? And also here we don't say the advice of an alim because the alim he only understands the importance of the Sharia, but he don't understand the necessity from a medical point of view. So if a person is a pious doctor, he understands the import. He knows that this person here, he knows is very ill. He needs a medicine, and also he knows that this is a serious prohibition. But he understands that the illness is grave enough to warrant this serious haram thing. You know what I'm saying? So if you only take an alim, you can say, no, haram, haram, haram. Must die. He doesn't understand the seriousness of it. And if you only take a doctor, you say, no, no, they're going to die. You have to give him that. So he only knows that side of it, right? But a pious Muslim doctor, he understands, look, Shariat is important, and he understands that this guy's health is important, so he will be able to strike the right balance. So this is now what we say, if a person is chronically ill, if he not take the medicine, there will be serious ramifications, life, loss of limb, first thing. Number two, there's no alternative. Number three, there is there's no alter. Number three, what I tell you, it's recommended by a pious Muslim doctor. Then even if something is haram, whether it be urine, whether it be alcohol, whether it be khinzir, whatever, then premise upon necessity. What's this? We're not speaking about the urine itself being halal. This year about this Messiah discussion is whether the urine is pure or is halal. That's a different discussion. Here we're looking at another discussion, which is al-zaruratu tubihul mahzurat. You'll do this if you haven't done it, come across it in your usul shashi, or if you do it, you'll come across it in Hidaayah. Al-zaruratu tubihul mahzurat. The necessity sometimes it makes a prohibiting permissible. Like I told you, how at the time of death, that khinzir will become permissible. If you are facing death, that alcohol become permissible. So same thing here. These haram things will become permissible. Why? Based or premise upon necessity. But those Messiah that about you ikhtilaf of Imam Hanifa, that is stored in its place. Okay, this is a new discussion we have to discuss tomorrow, inshallah. So we'll start this tomorrow. I hope that's clear. You understood that well, inshallah. Remember, these Messiah are on its place here. This is not where the Rurat. The Zarurat Messiah is a different one. This is a normal default ruling. But then, as an exception to the rule, you get a Zaruratu Tubihul Mahzurat. At the time of severe necessity, even a haram thing becomes halal for you. Like how you can eat khinzir, you can drink alcohol. So, although you won't make a decision on your own, at that point in time, you go to a mufti and say, look, the child is chronically ill, or I'm chronically ill, and this is the only thing here. It's got the, pork derivatives, etc., etc. We are so fortunate on the mufti's chat. On the mufti's chat here, there is a mufti who's a pharmacist. I always tell the students here in South Africa, we are lazy. We are lazy. Through the contact with this chat, you must see in England, they have afternoon alim classes and morning time the students are going to school. You have in England, you have people that are studying pharmacy and iftar together, subhanallah. Yeah, if you're doing iftar, you're only doing mufti, or you're doing alim, or you're going to university, you're only doing university. There's so many people that I spoke to there in the UK. They do their whole alim course with their school, or they're doing university and they're doing the alim course. So there's one guy, there's mufti, he's like graduated jointly, was doing his iftar and he was doing his mufti. So whenever we need advice with regards to medicine and like what is halal, what is haram, so because he knows the Shari'i usul, and he knows, what medicines there are on the market, and he knows what alternatives there are. So when there's a necessity for, you can give a very informed decision that, look, you don't have to take this here. There is an alternative. You can take this here. Or you say, look, there's no alternative. There's a chronic illness. You can take this medicine. So that's what I'm thinking about. Somebody is educated or clued up in both, then he can make an informed decision. And then we'll stop there. We'll continue tomorrow, inshallah.